Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Juicy Soul Cafe. For today, I'd like us all to just introduce ourselves again, and then we will introduce our topic. I'm Granville Campbell, and I am joining you from South Africa.
I'm Anupama, and I'm joining you from India.
I'm Renato, and I'm speaking from England.
I am Paco, and I'm speaking from Austria.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yeah, today our topic is around healing religious persecution. And I think it's quite a fitting topic from a historical point of view, as well as what's currently prevailing within the Twin Flames community in terms of quite an atrocious article that was published in Vanity Fair. So I feel like it's a great opportunity for us to just feel into that space and to kind of just heal through what comes up for us. And I feel there's no obligation and there's no pressure for us to make it a topic that's super grounded in facts. I think this time around our topic needs to be very much grounded in feeling the feeling and healing in that space. So I'm going to open it up to everybody to say, well, when you feel into that space of persecution, regardless of whether it's religious persecution or persecution around your sexual orientation or anything like that, it's that feeling of either being attacked or fear of being attacked, which is where the persecution sits. And so I feel like it's quite a fitting topic just for all of us, given some of the changes we have gone through in our lives to settle into our fuller, more graceful, more accepted selves within the unionist religion and within the unionist space. And I feel like, there's a significant component of people fighting love that they don't understand. So I want to open it up to everybody and kind of say, where are you at? How are you feeling? What's coming up for you in terms of the space that the whole community is going through? Because actually, as a collective, we carry the collective energy of the community, but we also carry a very collective and powerful intention to heal as a community. So I'm going to open it up to all of you, and you guys let me know how you feel, and we can take it from there.
Yeah, this is something that I've been wanting to heal through also. And you're right, it's in the collective consciousness to heal through. I feel it's also like not being seen for who we are, for our truth, not being accepted for the truth of who we are. And when you talk about persecution, this was something that came up for me today, something I'm working through. Again, it's kind of been the topic of the past few weeks also, how women are seen as lesser than men. And the feeling of, because I'm a woman, it's okay for me to be taken for granted by men, and for them to break their word or not show up when and I'm not just talking about relationships, I'm talking about even in business space, even in general acquaintance space, just this ideology that exists that men are superior and women are inferior. This is something that came up pretty strongly for me today. I was just thinking, why is this still happening? And yeah, it's again like, not being seen for who I am, and just being, I guess, again, like when we talk about the article, it's like being clubbed as something that we're not. It's being branded into a clique, without seeing the truth of who we are. The same way, like men are generalized, women are generalized, just branded into a clique without the truth of the individual being seen, being accepted, being respected.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying.
And so when you feel into that space, what is the feeling that comes up for you?
I feel a feeling of this is difficult to get over, to surpass this kind of prejudice.
Okay, so is there truth in that base of prejudice?
No,
So what is the truth in this space?
I am an equal child of God. I am a child of God, and I'm equal with all of God's creations, all of God's children, regardless of my gender or my background or my vision or my ideas. I'm an equal.
Do you choose to accept the truth of your equality?
Yes, I was feeling into this space where I'm still feeling in a way that maybe I'm still inferior. That's why this happens. So I'm choosing to see myself and give myself that truth, that reassurance that no, that's the lie that was fed to me, and I don't need to believe it anymore. I choose to release it and receive my truth.
Can you partner with God here and give the pain in that space to God and allow God to fill you up with the love and truth of your divinity and your equality and your preciousness in God's eyes?
Yeah, when you said give up the pain, I realized I had numbed out to it in a way because it had happened so much that I had just given up feeling pain about it. So when you said give up the pain, it kind of woke that up. So
You open your crown chakra and just allow that pain to flow to God.
yeah, I choose to feel my feelings here and surrender this pain.
When you release the pain, what do you get?
I can receive my peace and my reassurance of my place in God's eyes.
And how does your peace and your reassurance feel?
I'm still feeling a little fear around the edges.
You're still feeling a little fear around?
Around the edges, like there's still a little fear hovering around. Like whether I can really accept this truth and be in this space of feeling as an equal.
And what is that pain, what is that fear giving you that love can't give you?
It just keeps me small.
Right. So what is it giving you?
Nothing. It's not giving me what I desire. It's keeping me trapped.
Exactly. Who gives you what you desire?
God and God's love.
Absolutely. And so is it safe to accept God's love in this space?
Yes, and I release fear and I choose only love and truth here.
So do you accept God's love in this space?
I do.
And how does that feel?
Feels much better. Feels more empowering. And feels safe.
That sounds wonderful. Is there anything else coming up?
No, I choose to ground into this love and peace and safety of God's presence in
Feel
me.
like it's not complete. What else is sitting there?
There's this feeling, I think, of while I believe it, I might still have to fight to make people believe it.
Whose responsibility is it to make other people believe?
It's their own choice. I mean,
Own choice, but whose responsibility and job is it?
Okay, God's.
God's job. It's not your job. Do you choose to give God back God's job?
Okay, yes, I choose to release control here.
That's wonderful. How do you feel now?
Yeah, I feel better.
Good. Does it feel complete?
Yeah, I choose to ground into this
Would you like
surrender of control.
to welcome all of that love and all of that grounding and all of that peace home in perfection?
Yes,
How are you feeling now?
better.
Good. You've even got a smile on your face that you didn't have before.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, I feel better. I'm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Renato, I felt like you were experiencing quite a bit of emotion in that space. Is there anything coming up for you?
Yeah, I was very angry last week, with I felt attacked, in the space. I think all the collective was releasing some anger and fear. And I released that anger, but now we're feeling really sad.
Okay. So do you want to feel into that space and tell us what is the sadness about?
It's no, yeah, we are talking about prosecution. Yeah, I just remembered when I was younger, I was being attacked for being gay, in school. I just wanted to love myself. I just want love, and I felt like people were trying to convince me that I didn't deserve love, and I'm feeling now in that space with this, the Vanity Fair situation that, I never experienced so much love in my life, in this journey, on this journey. They don't know what love really is. They have like so much hate for love, and I don't know, I just feel like they are trying to take love away from me.
Okay, so is it true that anybody can take love away from you?
No,
What is the truth in this space?
that God is within myself, so love cannot be taken away from me.
How does that feel?
It feels good.
Does it feel complete or is there more? What's the next feeling?
It's like I don't know, I feel like I just feel my feelings.
Yeah, just to
Not focus on my head, just my feelings.
So here's a little technique that works for me. Just take a deep breath all the way to your seat. Just a deep breath as if you're actually sipping water after you've been thirsty for a long time. So just take that deep breath. And what's your feeling now? What is the feeling coming up?
The feeling is love is real, and how cannot people believe in love?
Whose responsibility is it to make people believe in love?
It's God. It's not my responsibility.
Or can you give God back God's job?
Yeah, I choose to surrender to God.
And do you also accept that where God leads you to share his message of love, his or her message of love, you will perfectly take the steps that you are guided to take, but it's not your responsibility to drag people along with you.
Yeah, I feel like this urgency to convince people, like friends. Yeah. Sometimes I feel alone, I know I am with God, but I just want to see people spreading love as well, with me, more people joining us on this journey. Because it's not only about, twin flame journey, it's all about God. And yeah, I think it's a desire that I have within myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels peaceful. So it's just a desire.
That's perfect. The desire is of God. The word desire says of the sire, which is of God. So it's perfect to have God's desire in your heart. You're going to feel alone when you try to do God's job, though. So can you
Yeah.
release responsibility?
Yeah, choose to release that responsibility
Right. And what would you like to replace it with?
with peace.
Perfect. And how does your peace feel to you?
Feels peaceful.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I feel a lot better.
Wonderful. Is there
Yeah,
anything? Does it feel complete? Is there anything else?
I feel complete.
Awesome. Would you
Yeah, it was something that I just needed to release, I was still holding on.
Absolutely. So welcome all that peace and allow it to take up its perfect home within God's perfect child.
Yeah,
How do you feel now?
I feel really good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it just feels more settled. It feels more peaceful. It's just, it's kind of us just going into the space of realizing the truth all the time and realizing that actually our power lies in the truth and in our peace and in our God. And we all have God equally. And at no point did God say, my child, put on this jacket and do this job. God said, my child, here's your purpose. You have a piece of the puzzle to share with the world. That's your purpose. That's your soul design. You don't have to do what I do. You do what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels peaceful to me as well. And that's the nice thing about how we heal through the mirror exercise, that we heal right along with each other, whether you are being guided or you're guiding the exercise, you heal right along there. And that's the perfection of the mirror exercise and unionism in and of itself. And as long as we can understand that God wouldn't have given us something that's not perfect for us, we can very comfortably release more and more of that illusion of attack and more of that fear of attack. And that's all we can do. God didn't call us to suffer. We might have challenging components in our journey, but God did not call us to suffer. God called us to love. That's why you have the strong desire to share your love with the world.
Yeah.
That's why you have the strong desire. And it's okay. It's perfect. But you have a piece. You don't have the whole job. We all
You
have
know,
a job.
something I'm feeling now, of course, I'm feeling peaceful, but for the past week, I was feeling unsafe, because of this attack. And of course, it was happening at the same time that I was going through, so many things on my journey for the past week. So everything was very like together at once, happening at once. And I felt really unsafe, like unsafe and ungrounded, like lots of upsets and upheavals at the same time. But now feeling in this peaceful space here, I'm feeling safe again. So it's nothing about the outside, like the external, to make me feel safe, Because now when I surrender to peace, I feel safe.
That's wonderful, and that is actually where your safety and your peace actually sits. Your source is not on the outside.
Yeah.
And I think that's the message that we constantly need to reinforce for ourselves, is just understanding that we all have God, and God is not going to leave us to sit in the upset. But it is on us to look at when the upset presents itself so that we can heal it.
Yeah.
Good. How are you guys feeling up until now? Are we feeling good? Are we feeling okay? Are we getting to a much more comfortable in our peace space?
I had this feeling coming up again that, you can stand in your truth and speak your truth and trust people and they can still attack you.
Would you like to go into healing it on a deeper level?
Okay. Kind of feels a little scary that when I'm choosing truth and I'm just choosing to spread truth and love, I can still be attacked viciously.
What is the source of the attack?
Ego.
Okay, so let's go into the purity of the steps of the mirror exercise. What is the upset? Name the upset and project it as far and wide as you need to.
So I'm upset that when I speak my truth and stand in my truth, that I can be attacked for it.
What is the next step? Change all the pronouns and name the upset again.
I'm upset that when I speak my truth and stand in my truth, I attack myself.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, third step. So there is a part of me that wants to deny my truth.
So can you see that part of you that wants to deny your truth?
Yeah, she's afraid.
What is she afraid of?
She's afraid of attack, so she wants me to keep quiet.
What does she need right now to release the fear as much as possible?
She wants to know that she is going to
That she is?
that she's going to be safe and not going to be abused anymore.
And where does the safety and protection come from?
I know it comes from God, but there's a feeling like God abandoned her because the abuse went on for so long.
Okay. Okay, and can you let her know that even though there was the feeling of being abused, God's love never left. God's protection never left.
There is a little disbelief.
A little bit of disbelief, right? So what is she resisting in this point? Is she resisting the love, or is she resisting holding on to something because it inadvertently creates an illusion of safety when there can be true safety?
Maybe rejecting the love because she feels like God really loved her, abuse would not have happened at all.
Okay, but what is the truth? What is the truth about how God has designed all her children in terms of their free will, and what is the truth of your free will or her free will to accept all of God's love and release the pain because God did not ask her to suffer.
Right. She can choose now to, with her free will, to not receive abuse in any form anymore.
Can you see that she loves so much that it just makes absolutely no sense why other people don't love as much? Is it okay to accept that she loves that much and she cares that much?
Yeah, because it was the people that she loved the most who ended up doing this to her.
Yes, but can she choose to, is she willing to forgive those people? Can she choose to partner with God and with the archangels here and even just be willing to forgive them?
Yes.
Just be willing to forgive them, that's all.
And
Forgiveness can come in layers, it can come in steps, it can come in stages. The only thing that we are bringing into our awareness is the willingness.
right. Yes, she's willing to forgive them, but she's still holding herself to blame.
That's okay. Can you ask her what it would require for her to release all of that blame to God?
Just giving her the truth that she cannot change somebody else's behavior or choice by love, by just loving them.
Absolutely.
And release herself from the blame and now choose to only receive those relationships that receive and reciprocate her.
That's perfect. What else does she need to release to God? Give it all to God.
Yeah,
Let her know that she does not need to carry any of it.
yeah. I choose to give her this.
Give her the reassurance that God wants to hold her hand and take the burden from her.
Yes. Yeah, she didn't know she could release it to God. She's been holding.
To allow God to take that burden. How does she feel now?
Like a big burden lifted off.
Good. What else does she need in this space to feel loved and safe?
Just to be hugged and loved now and to fill in all those areas where she wanted love.
Good. Can you give her all of that? Can you give her that big, big hug and that love?
Yeah, and the reassurance of she can always speak her truth and she can always love and she can choose to never
And does she
indulge.
realize that God is her bestest friend ever and that she can tell God all of these things at any minute of any day, for every day, for the rest of eternity? How awesome is that to have a friend like that?
It's perfect. That's the kind of friend she wanted.
Awesome. How's she feeling now?
Much better. Feeling
Good.
safe.
Does it feel complete?
Mhm. Yes.
Good. So welcome her home and just love her up.
It's safe to be seen and heard.
Absolutely. But what an epic friend she has that never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Eh? How awesome is that?
Mhm.
Good. How are you feeling, Paco?
I'm feeling good, and I want to say how I love you all for showing up and showing your true emotions about the situations, how courageous this is in doing that here with all of us. And thank you very much for being so authentic and full of love and showing up your
Awesome.
true self.
And thank you for being here and holding space during that healing process.
Yes, I love to, because I feel that it is so safe to explore our true feelings in all this. Like, I came out as transgender and I feel so safe in all these steps because I am here in unionism. It's like I'm so prepared so well because of the mirror exercise, because of the teaching of Jeff and Shaleia. And I'm doing since 2 years every day my inner work, and I'm prepared, and it's easy for me because of this teaching. And I was never in this place of being courageous enough for myself, standing up and showing the world the truth.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about it now?
Showing up myself, I love it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And where does your
It's
courage come from? Where does your courage actually come from?
from God.
Exactly.
From God, and I'm now connected to God, and I feel how much He loves me doing all these steps, and He just shows me, look what you can do next, and I'm just feeling so much love in all my steps, and how God loves that I do all these steps for myself, because I love myself so much in doing all these steps, becoming my true self in from the inside and the outside, and I just feel truly happy, and we all deserve to feel happy and feel connected to God in
Absolutely.
our authentic self.
Absolutely. And it feels bloody good, doesn't it?
It feels so good.
Awesome.
That's why we're supposed being here on earth. This is heaven on earth. Feeling so safe in your true self, in your authentic self,
Mm-hmm.
and having an easy life and loving life, and feel just good all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we are getting here in unionism. That's all. We get love, we get God, that's it. And we get the best tool to help ourselves in every moment and every second of our life.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
we meet here people, so wonderful people like you. We just meet here and help each other because we see when somebody is suffering, and we just say, I love you here, and we can accept the love. That's
Absolutely.
all.
And it's one of the things that Anupama in her healing just called in. Stand in your truth and
Yeah,
be safe in your truth and accept your truth and be joyful in your truth.
yeah,
And I want to point this out because I think you weren't seeing it, but you have called in your support.
yes,
You're called in your divine support.
yes,
Here we are. Here's everybody in this community.
yes.
Mother, Father, God, right there. When were you ever alone?
That's it. And I
And,
feel
you know,
yeah,
and that's the thing about me as well. I've had to learn to release the illusion of aloneness.
yes,
And that's why I was able to lead you into understanding the level of friendship that you have with God. Because it's literally in every single moment of every day, your best friend is divine and there.
yes. That's so
And,
true.
and the most powerful being.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just nice and it's good to actually look at the upset because the upset leads us to that next layer of peace that is just beautiful.
Yes, always.
And a lot of it is actually us persecuting ourselves in our judgment of ourselves, in our non-acceptance of ourselves, in our inadvertent views of what we should or should not be. And that is why it's such a great topic, because we've had so many examples of persecution, and specifically religious persecution. And you'll find them in all of the religious texts. And in certain areas in the world, there's still fighting amongst religious factions. The fact of the matter is, we are safe with God. We are safe with God, and we always need to just go back to ourselves in that safety with God.
Yes, it's always safe to stand up with God. God is always with you. If you are feeling this to stand up and stand for the truth, stand for God, stand for love, it's always safe. God guides you only where what you can handle.
Absolutely.
It's always safe.
And the other thing about it as well is in standing up, there may be components of discipline. There may need to be components of discipline. But if you're disciplining from a place of love and a place of peace, that's all you can do. The purity of your intention is what is the useful thing here.
Yeah.
As long as we have the intent to discipline with love and to lead somebody to love, we are not responsible for making them receive it, or making them accept it, or making them understand it, or making them even appreciate it. That is not our responsibility.
No.
God called me to love. God showed me that the reason why I'm so tough is because I love so much. I love so much. That used to scare the shit out of me, okay? But actually, I was actually then resisting myself. I was resisting myself. And that's why I appreciate the community that we're in. Because in this community, I have worked with some very powerful coaches who have led me to realizing that truth about myself.
You can nothing hide from God.
Exactly. Exactly.
I experienced that too. I can nothing hide from God, and that's so good. And He loves you so much and brings you this community with the compassionate way for you.
Exactly.
And He gives you the steps where you can test yourself, how far I came, and He always supports you.
Mm. How are we all feeling now?
I'm feeling good. I kind of just realized while we were talking that, oh my God, we're live on Facebook.
That's the fun part, like sometimes we have a conversation and sometimes we go into the healing. And it's actually fun to go into the healing just as much as it is fun to have the conversation.
Yes.
And what
Yeah.
is exceptionally courageous is that we actually go into that healing space in a live conversation as well. That's very courageous. So well done.
Thank you. Thank
You
you for
know, when you are in a coaching session, it's like a private space, just you and your coach, and you feel very comfortable. Yeah, when you were guiding me on that healing before, like earlier, I felt the same feeling. I didn't feel that I'm in a live, there are people watching us. I felt it really like in a private place, very safe, and I can be vulnerable, I can be myself fully. Yeah, very safe. That's why I said that I was feeling unsafe before, and now I feel safe.
Good. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
and that's the thing that I was working through, also being able to stand in my truth and speak my truth in public without fear.
And
And
you did exactly that in such a powerful way.
yeah, and later I realized that, oh my God, we're live on Facebook. This is in public, and I'm speaking my truth. And the other thing I want to say was, why we are so resistant to God is because a lot of the religious persecution and the abuse we have faced is given in the name of God. It's like God is punishing you. God says to, do this war. God is calling. And so that's why we go into this wanting to hide from this God who has been punishing us our whole life and declaring war on different people. And that's why the fear. But when you are in this community, and thanks to Jeff and Shaleia, and doing the mirror exercise and even going through MAP and healing trauma, when you feel the peace of God, the love of God, sometimes, yes, it's difficult to shift, all those years of, that's why we say there are layers. But even at one layer, when you feel the peace and love of God, it's like such a 180 or 360, or I don't know how many degrees shift, to think that this is God. Where was this God all along? And then you realize that this God was there all along. It's just that it was, like everything, hidden under the illusion that, God doesn't love you and God created you to punish you, which is such a farce, So I just want to say that this is why the people have this fear of God, because all this persecution is done quoting God as the source. And that is the biggest lie that we are fed in this world. God
And
is not
and the
divine.
biggest love we can express is to expose that biggest lie.
Exactly. And to and to just be in that love, and to show people that the reason we love so much, in spite, or even with whatever we may have experienced in our lives, is because the truth of God is always present within us, and that truth is unconditional love and peace,
Absolutely.
not war, not persecution. And this is, like you said, Granville, this is also why we ended up persecuting ourselves, because we thought maybe this is the way to please this God, who's, by punishing ourselves. But we can let go of all those and, just come into that peace and love and safety. God is safe, so safe. Like
The beauty of this community is that, you work with such powerful people from a spiritual point of view that you get skill.
yeah,
You actually get some serious spiritual chops from
yeah.
being part of a community like this, right?
That was amazing how you took us through. So you're an amazing guide, coach. I hope
Thank
you're.
you. Well, I'm a coach in training, but I am a certified NLP coach as well. So it's another extension of it. But yeah, some of what I've helped you through with today is just that I've also had some seriously powerful coaches, and I'm coaching with Kobe and Keely right now, and they are like boss coaches. I won't even call it anything else. So it's really great to work with such spiritually advanced people, because the illusion in the world is that we must hide our light.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
actually, that it cannot be further from the truth. You actually have to shine your light. And it speaks to a post that Shaleia also posted earlier today that said you cannot avoid the darkness. You have to bring light to the darkness. And I just feel like the Church of Union and Twin Flames Universe is bringing light to that darkness.
Yes.
And the biggest love we can give the world is to expose the lie and the illusion and invite people into love. Because that's all you can do. Renato, when you say you have this desire to share it, your desire is actually to invite people into love. If they don't accept your invitation, that's okay. You don't accept every invitation that you receive either.
True.
None of us do. Our
Yeah.
job right now is invite them into love. The ones that want it will come and get it.
Without expectations.
Exactly.
That we learn in this twin flame journey is you give love, you show love without expectation, without expecting that they will accept you or they will agree with you or they will follow the same path as you.
And that's it. That's it. Release the responsibility, release the control, release the expectation, and invite them into love. And no matter what anybody says, I also don't accept every single invitation. So there are going to be people that don't accept our invitation, but there will also be people that do accept our invitation, and we welcome them.
Yes, that's all we have to do.
We welcome them.
Perfect. Just give our invitation.
Yes. We invite you all into love. We invite
Yes.
you all into love in the Church of Union. Accept our invitation and we welcome you. Don't accept our invitation and that's up to you. You have free will, but you still have an invitation that's very much open for you to join us in love.
Yeah, something is coming up for me. Sometimes it's not only about the words you speak, to the people. Because of course, if you try to convince people, they, it doesn't feel good. But when you shine your light, doesn't necessarily you have to say something. You just live. You live the light, within yourself, and you shine naturally. And I was having a conversation with my mother 2 weeks ago. We were talking about my journey and now my relationship with God, how I see life. And she believes in everything that I said, because she said to me, Renato, you are so different than a year ago. You had so many problems with anxieties. Of course, sometimes I have to be these anxieties, but not like the past. The energy is completely different. She said, you look literally and are completely another person.
Absolutely.
Like peace. She was telling you look so peaceful.
Because you accepted the invitation to love.
Yeah.
You accepted the invitation into love, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I didn't need to convince her.
Exactly.
As I was talking to her, she was agreeing, like, yeah, because I was talking to her about God is within ourselves. Like I was literally teaching her Jeff and Shaleia's teachings. And she was so open, like, that makes sense. She is Christian, but she's opening up, to the truth. That's really beautiful. And some people, doing my journey, let's say from 2-3 years, for the past 2-3 years, especially since when I joined the community, some people, they vibe out, they fade away from my reality, and other people, they just felt like attracted to me, like for my friendship and just being closer, because they want the same things. My mother is one of them. We became so much closer. And some other relatives, I never heard about them anymore. So it's so beautiful how it works, this vibration.
Mm-hmm. Because literally, love is the most powerful vibration there is. And I've actually read in one of the scientific courses I went through, was that love actually has a vibration that can be picked up by electrolytes, or not electrolytes, electrodes. So they can actually pick up the vibration of love. So there's not even a separation between religion and logic and science anymore.
Yeah.
God is the scientist.
Mm-hmm.
He's created so many things from a molecule.
Absolutely. Awesome. Does it feel complete to all of you? It feels complete to me.
It feels really good.
Yeah, it feels like, yeah, go on.
No, I said I feel really good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just want to say, like, I feel like in a coaching session, like a proper healing session.
Good.
Yeah.
I think that was our purpose today. Just let's just collectively walk the healing path for now. That's what we need to do. We don't need to do anything else. We don't need to do more. We don't need to do less. An opportunity was presented for us to heal, and we are working with it. Good.
Ground in the peace and in the love and in the safety from God. He's always with us. Always.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Today was actually quite good for me. Hope it was good for you as well. I'd like to invite everybody who's watching and who will be watching to like and subscribe to our Church of Union YouTube channel. You will find all our previous Soul Cafes on there, all our previous Sunday sermons, and any other live conversations and some workshops as well. And we will see you again next week for another juicy Soul Cafe.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.